Hey, what's up, guys? Edison appears in your YouTube feed here. I've been MIA for a while, but I'm kind of just back now to go over a CGC return. This was a bulk from August 24th, and if you want to know how much I paid per card, it was $12.75. I opted for no subgrades. Let's go over this August bulk. As a reminder, it's all bulk, no subgrades. The sun is setting. 7.5 vending series. A lot of this stuff you'll see for the old backs. Over 9.5, Celebi, Hyper Rare. Hyper Rares were kind of a mixed bag. Ended up not being that great of a purchase, but it's a really expensive card in PSA 10. But there isn't much traction on 9s in any company, really, and 9.5 sadly get hurt. So there aren't really that many CGC 9.5 enthusiasts. 8.5 in modern. So yeah, a lot of this is going to be probably, I had some modern full arts and hyper rares left over that I ended up just throwing in with this submission. This was like a transitional submission, I guess you can call. And what I mean by that was, this lighting is pretty awful, actually. You can get like a constant shadow. I don't think there's anything I can really do to adjust it. So what I mean by transitional was I had purchased a lot of these trainer full arts, these Pokemon hyper rares, and I had been submitting them for a couple months at this point. And this August submission was essentially like the last of those cards, the last of the like that style. And then I started to introduce more old back hollows, and then this is when I really started to pick up. And I don't really think I submitted much, but this is around the time that I was really buying Diamond and Pearl hollows, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Ruby Sapphire, that era of stuff. So you're going to see a couple more duplicates from like previous submissions. Most of this stuff was honestly didn't pay off. Like the Coral hollows, I thought there would be more demand because I think at the time that I purchased these Coral Mew was a ridiculously expensive card, super popular. And I was hoping that more people would then kind of try to look into the rest of the Coral line to diversify. I overpaid pretty heavily for my Coral Snorlaxes. I took a loss on those. Thankfully, the Thievul, the Indeedee, these are all cheaper. These are all much cheaper. Even this I think Regigigas is one of the ones that stood the test of time. Maybe because it's a Sun and Moon one. 8.5 Reggie. So right off to like a good start, like pretty much what I expect from my Japanese modern. Just getting 9s over and over again. 8.5. I was purchasing a lot of the GX Ultra Shiny cards too, mostly just because, well, this one's great. Just a base expansion pack, Dugtrio, which is Expedition, just good artwork. I was purchasing a lot of this Ultra Shiny GX stuff because like the boxes had gotten so expensive, but the actual singles were still very cheap. You know, maybe I'll end up holding this for a while. Who knows? This Deoxys Ex, I'm not even sure when or where I had purchased it, but 7.5 is not that impressive. And it looks pretty poor. The label isn't, this is a really bad grade, by the way. 5.5. There's probably a really bad dent somewhere on this. And, you know, the labels don't look good without the subgrades. I think I've always been very critical of how the labels look without subgrades. I just think that they look kind of empty. And it's definitely how I feel still with this stuff. Ooh, this is a really nice one. Vending Series 3, the deck exchange, crude artwork, and that's a solid grade. Yeah, so I think the labels look empty. The big thing for me is the price to get subgrades on these cards is like so obscenely high. You're essentially paying double the price to get subgrades, which is ridiculous. Oh, we're going to see a run of awful grading decisions. I got this in a binder collection from Old Player. It was like a Macari listing in Japan. I purchased it. He had pretty much all the Cora promos in there. And for some reason at the time, I thought that it was the right idea to just grade every single one of these. Which is like ridiculous because a lot of these cards aren't worth much raw in this grade. So grading them and getting like an average of like a 4 is definitely not the move. But these cards, I think these cards came from the same exact collection. These vending series are so cool. Such nice artwork. I mean, 8.5 to 9 on old vending series is really, really something special. Just such cute, fun artwork. Really cool. And what's really interesting about the vending series stuff is, as you know, you peel them off the sheet, but they're also glossy, which means they pick up scratches a lot. So, all things considered, these have been preserved very well, considering that a lot of them get damaged when you pull them off the sheet, or they get scratched up over time. Here is one of my favorites, Just Dance, Neo Imakuni. I just love the concept art, the fact that like Imakuni himself is coming outside of the card right there. Just so funny. It's a very unique Pokemon card, and yeah, for that reason I just like it. I think it comes from a CD. I think it's just like a separate CD it comes in. Sorry if that was a weird explanation. It's like a CD that you purchase, and it's the promo card attached to the CD. You still have that like with modern CD releases, movie soundtracks. They come with a photo, a Pokemon card promo. It's typically a unique trainer card. These are just random random old backs. I'm assuming that all of these old backs, like this mid-grade stuff, the 5s, maybe the Espeon I'll make some money on because this is a nice card. A lot of those will probably just end up being, hopefully I could sell them for what I paid to grade them. Here's that Lulu in a 9. Nice just holo rare. That's another card that I spec'd on that has gone down since I paid way too much at the time. This Weezing I got for free in a lot that I purchased, so realistically, like, I don't really care that much that I didn't get a good grade. The 6 does suck, but yeah, I'm not too peeved about that because really my cost in is the cost of grading. Another great 9 in the deck exchange. We got really solid grades on these deck exchange vending cards. The final one is Imakuni's Nasty Plot, another one of my favorite artworks. I really just like the Imakuni artworks because they're such a unique style, but the way like that it's almost looks like it's a hand-drawn card. This box seems to mostly be new back. We have some EXs. I think I submitted quite a few EXs in a row. This Charmander is I think it's Stormfront in English is the set name. Almost like 100% confident. But it is the secret rare in English. It's still a fairly expensive raw card in Japan. I think this one was pretty beat up. There has to be a dent for it to get this grade. There's some chipping on the top, but I think there's a dent for it to be docked down that heavily. But I really think that card was probably included in a lot or something. It's tough. Pretty much what I do when I buy a lot is I just look at the very best cards in the lot and try to price around getting those best cards, and like what I could possibly make from just selling like kind of the hype or the high end pulls from a collection, and then anything else is just kind of just an added benefit to have as inventory. Here's a really nice one, Venusaur from Miracle Crystal, which is EX Crystal Guardians. Just nice artwork. I think we're gonna see a little bit of this era of stuff. Meganium from Golden Sky, 8.5s. I think that's kind of where I was expecting to be on a lot of this mid-era stuff, was around 8.5. I don't know, it's tough to find, it's tough to say. Okay, this is crazy to me, the VS series. I don't even remember where I got these VS cards. 9 on that, 9.5 on Murdy's Murkrow is nuts. Wow, that's a beautiful card. This is just such good artwork, right? It's hollow foil pattern. Dustox 9. This is like one of those cards that I have so many of them raw. 8.5. This is a 7-Eleven promotional card. I think this is also a promotional card in English. Yeah, 8.5 is solid. Yeah, as I said, I was expecting a lot of this mid-era stuff to be 8.5 just because there's always tends to be issues. Either it's like scratching on the hollow foil, scratching on the back is really common with new back. It's really hard to see as well. So if you ever see photos online of cards raw, you can look for whitening and you can look for edge wear, but it's almost impossible to see scratches, and it's very hard to see dents. And a lot of this stuff tends to come up both. This is just great Meowth artwork, really cool. 8.5 as well. I'm hoping we see more stuff from this era. I'm kind of burnt out from old back. I've seen so much. Metagross Delta Species 8.5 is a good grade for Delta Species. like all things considered, Delta Species is incredibly hard to grade. The sets are very off-center. They were played. A lot of them are in rough condition. So if you can get any, like for Alligator and Eat, probably okay, because for Alligator is popular enough of a Pokemon. Absol 7.5. This is probably just a disappointing grade, but there is quite a bit of edge wear on corner where you can see right there. So it might be justified. I might end up splitting this video up into multiple parts because it's like these videos already get kind of long, and I want to kind of scan and go through cards as I go. But yeah, Alakazam V. I think I was just picking up these full arts from Vivid Voltage because they were like a couple dollars a piece. And to me, Alakazam is a fan favorite Pokemon. And not only is he fan favorite, he's fan favorite, it's a full art, which means it's a harder card to pull from the set. And I just like the artwork. I really enjoy how kind of they've brought back, like the new full arts remind me a lot of the X and Y stuff. Sun and Moon full arts are very boring, but the X and Y stuff has that really dynamic background like this. This Darkrai I pulled myself from a Breakpoint pack, but it was, I always call it just like English production. It just destroyed. Very rough. Wow, this got an 8.5, really. This has pretty bad edge wear. Pretty bad corner wear as well. And I got an 8.5, so I don't know, that looks similar to the 7.5 Absol we just saw. 8.5 Dark Scissor. For the old back stuff, I am... Oh, sorry, wow, I never noticed how nice this artwork is on Dark Scissor. For the old back stuff, I'm also fine with 8.5. 8.5 on a Rocket King Strikes Back card is cool. 8 on a Ludicolo, whatever. This is a English, I think it's just like a blister promo. 8.5 on Huntail. Ooh, I guess 8.5 is pretty subpar. But I think like looking at these grades now, it was definitely the right decision to go no subgrades. This is such a good artwork, Dark Crobat. The no subgrades at least let me preserve some, I think, semblance of a margin on these cards, especially in these grades. But I just can't get over how expensive it is to grade with subgrades now. Togepi 8.5 McDonald's promotion. If you're curious about like this McDonald's card, it comes in a pack with multiple, so they're typically like the less valuable. I love this artwork for Fanfi, McDonald's. Ooh, that's a pretty solid grade. Oh, maybe the Togepi isn't from the pack. Might be wrong. I'm not sure though. I thought the Togepi was from the pack, but I know the I'm so confused. One of these two is from a pack where multiple cards are given. 9.5 in the McDonald's Growlithe is nuts. 9.5 in the McDonald's Cyndaquil, another good grade. 9.5 in the Totodile. That's spectacular. I mean, those cards were very cheap raw when I bought them. So, I mean, anything's good. Also, here's the Holo Flygon. I mentioned that I think there's a Holo, and I mean, I did end up submitting it. So it says it's also a 7-11 promo. 7.5, pretty mediocre grade, but Flygon is a popular Pokemon, and maybe there's some like very niche interest in a 7-11 card. This is Gibble from the World. Oh my god, this is something I didn't like on P.S.A. labels, how what they do when the name is too long is they just start pulling vowels. They pull the vowels from the word, so you have to try to phonetically come up with what it would be pronounced as. And if that doesn't cut it, then they just start cutting unnecessary letters in their mind. And it's kind of like this World Championship Japan Representative Conference Participation? I don't know, something along those lines. But it is one of the rarer promotional cards, and Gibble, fairly popular. And for this one, there wasn't a lot of copies of this card like graded or even raw, so I thought it was worth picking up. And we got an awful grade in the Dion Holo, but the Holo promo got a 9. I love this artwork, man. Beautiful. It's such a nice art. I'm so happy. I'm so happy I'm trying to get some of this Diamond and Pearl, Ruby Sapphire graded stuff back. It's going to look so good. I can't wait to scan them as well. Oh, I think I purchased this one on accident because I really thought, because the site that I purchased them from, the person was using like very low-res stock photos to show the card off, and I thought the stars in the background were like a low-resolution scan of what a holo foil pattern looked like. So I just assumed it was a holo card. It's just a random 7-Eleven Mudkip. There's a lot of random 7-Eleven promos in Japan. Like an absolute metric ton of them. And a lot of them have very mediocre information provided with them. ADV Armaldo, because I think realistically they're just like a random product that gets introduced. There's not much thought into them. So yeah, I'm just hoping for a lot of this 7-Eleven stuff there's going to be collectors for maybe like more niche Japanese promos, and then Groudon EX and Kyogre EX. These are, I believe, Korokoro promotional cards. Maybe I could have swore they were released together in the same volume, but one of them says it's from the February 2003 Korokoro comic, and the other one just says Korokoro. So if they're not released from the same comic, I would maybe hope that, like from the same volume, that the other one would say what volume it's from. As I'm going through these cards, I'm realizing how much of a pain it's going to be to do the estimated values for this video, because, oh my god, there's so much variance, and a lot of this stuff, from what I saw, didn't grade particularly well. Deoxys Ex. I remember these EX cards I picked up from just a random... There's like this guy on Macari. It's like a weird way of putting it. It was just like a seller on Macari had listed... pretty much I think the way they were doing was they would list one Pokemon. I think he listed the 2 Dustoxes as a lot. I think the same was for this Altaria. I think there was 3 of them. Oh, there might have been 4. Wow, this one is really low grade. 7.55, 8.5, and 8. I think this was from that same guy who he was just listing like a couple, like, yeah, as I'm trying to think of the word for it. I guess Pokemon. He would just do like a listing where multiple cards for the same Pokemon were at once. Recargo fly. Wow, that's pretty bad for Recargo. Electrode in an 8. Ooh, really nice artwork for Electrode. We have some English in here. Giovanni's Exile. This is one of those cards that I picked up quite a few of because the Japanese version was much more expensive than English. I don't think that really matters too much. I was kind of also hoping that the English price would go up on the card, but there really hasn't been much movement on it. Oh, this has got 1/9. I think what I like to do, these videos are kind of just also time capsules for me to kind of see what I thought was a good idea to submit. A lot of the time, stuff comes back to me with these bulk turnaround times, and by the time it gets back, I just think, why the hell did I grade that? But I think it's an important lesson for me to learn, is you can't just be looking at what's doing good at that moment, because you're really not, bulk submissions are not for what's good in the current market, what's popular right now. You have to think of it as what's going to be popular in the 6 to 8 months it takes for it to come back. Wow, this is, as you saw earlier, I just graded these junkie, well, junkies mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anyone, might like them, but obviously, like, I'm also selling them too, so like, I shouldn't talk down about something I'm selling. But like a lot of this low-grade Korokoro stuff, I have really no clue why I graded it. Like, realistically, I should have just thrown this low-grade Korokoro up on like a bulk lot on eBay. Just title it as, you know, played condition promotional lot, and you probably would have made just even more money just selling them raw than for me having to wait the 6 months to grade them and get them back, and then have to pay extra shipping to sell them individually. It was not worth it the way I did it. 7.5 in the Hoppip, McDonald's, but it's an important lesson. Like, it's good to. It's fine to make mistakes as long as you're willing to learn from them. That's something I try to teach. I'm trying to teach myself still. Like, I can say it, but to actually do it, it's a whole nother thing. So that's something I'm fine with, making mistakes and having errors. This McDonald's stuff was definitely... It's weird, too, because some of this stuff, like, I'm happy with my decision to grade it. Like, the McDonald's promotional cards, I think, worked out. Maybe it was partially luck, or it was, like, a more thought-out plan to why I sent them in. But then, yeah, as you saw, a lot of the Korokoro ones make no sense. A lot of my old back stuff that I sent in. Well, this is a great card to get 9.5 on, Gem Mint. A lot of my old back stuff, really no reason to grade it. Dragonite FB, this is just it comes in like a pack. It's a league promo card. I think they were just giving out to like tournament organizers or you know, like a local game store, and when you would host events or like play-ins, you would just hand out the copy to people who showed up. Some Toys R Us Clefairies. I purchased a couple of them. I think I purchased all of these Toys R Us from Collector's Cash. Their website prices were like very kind of lagging behind the actual market. This is like a really stupid card to grade. I don't know why I graded it. I think this was like one of those ones where it was like, at the time, I think this is one of the, I forget what Neo said it is in English, but this Pikachu was worth grading if you got above a 7.5 or like a 8. So I thought I might as well throw them in bulk. 6 months later, I think it's a very different story. So it's definitely, oh wow, I don't know why I graded a Scyther. Oh my god, I graded an uncommon Scyther in an 8. Holy shit, what was I doing? Why did I grade these? Uncommon Poliwhirl? At least this Smeargle is a promotional from Trainer's Mag, but oh my god, I actually just graded garbage. Like, why did I grade this? I can understand now why some people think my decisions are kind of boring, because I think there are some bad ideas. Even this Morpeko V was probably not worth grading. 7.5. Yeah, that sucks. Oh, this one's pretty beat up. You can see at the top. Yeah, that Pikachu card is another one that I was just speculating on because the Japanese was so expensive. But, I mean, I don't know if it's just... I think there's a lot more product out there than I had ever really anticipated. So there's a lot of these Pikachu blisters out there with that promo. Let's do the last of these EXs. Cacturne Ex got an 8.5. Really solid grade for this type of card in Ultra Rare. Muck EX got an 8. And then finally, the Flygon EX got an 8. I'm pretty sure all those EX cards that were in this block, in this lot, came from that same seller on Macari. Alright, whatever. We'll figure it out. But thanks for watching as always, guys. And I'm sorry about the hiatus. I don't really like making videos for no... Like, I haven't really had inspiration on what to make a video about. And I'm not really sure if people would watch it if I just produce, like, videos going over numbers or my opinions on stuff. Like, I could always talk about set releases. I could always talk about news within, like, the grading or kind of companies or Pokemon in general. I'm not really sure people will be interested in that, so I hold off on it. But if that is something you watch, just let me know. I'd always appreciate any feedback, criticism. And, yeah. Thanks for being here, and have a nice one.